let's try to work together.
I can't hear him.
Come on, I think we can handle this. I think we can handle this. So, I want you to know that in the process of debating this health care reform legislation, it was frustrating to hear, and I'll say right off the top of the bat here tonight, in case any of you didn't know, and I think most of you do, that I am a candidate for the 7th Congressional District seat. That's the filter I have. That's not being hidden at all. But you would be right to expect that if I stand in opposition to the so-called healthcare reform plan that went through the U.S. House and Senate and was signed by the President, with a lot of unique things that took place that generally don't take place in the process of passing legislation. There's generally a lot of debate, there is disagreement, there are compromises, but generally the American public, by and large, at worst are split. There isn't an overwhelming opposition coming from the American public and proven in all sorts of varied polls and surveys that are out there, and rallies and thousands of people taking time off of work to appeal for their government to listen. To reform health care, yes. Almost 90% of the people in the United States during the time of the so-called debate were saying, we want reform in health care. But we don't want it this way. We don't want a government takeover. And maybe the second rule would be that probably we can get more said and more heard if we don't clap all the time either, though I certainly like clapping when it's supporting me. But maybe we should refrain from that a bit. We only have an hour here, and probably a lot of debate will go on outside after. But what I was saying is, with almost 90%, 86% of the people saying that we should back off, rethink, redebate, restructure the healthcare reform package, look at some alternatives to healthcare takeover by government. That didn't happen. And when you saw the type of angst that was even in the Democrat Party, in fact, earlier on they had all the votes in both the House and the Senate to have passed that. For a while they had veto-proof majority in the U.S. Senate and still couldn't pass it. So it really wasn't the Republicans, and certainly not the people of this country holding it up. But ultimately it came down to some very extreme political maneuvering under the cover of darkness that was passed. And now the opportunity. I didn't realize I had made that statement, not referring to the night when it was passed, but it was passed that night. So the alternative is for Americans to continue voicing their concerns, offering alternatives, and using the proven method that has worked in this country for so many years, and that's the ballot box. That's the revolution that we need. It's the ballot box. And that's what we're calling for. Now, I promise you that my intended efforts on this issue, if given the privilege to sit in the Michigan 7th seat again, will be to repeal and replace this health care reform plan. The opportunity from those who support this is to make sure that it's not repealed and replaced.